Are we ready to talk about digitalization? I will talk about from boomers to Gen Z, like mentioned, having a diverse customer group and working with digitalization. As mentioned, Allente is a merger between Viasat and Canal Digital. They were previously two of the largest TV providers in the Nordics, and after merging, we of course still are. And we became Allente in 2020. And in 2021, we launched Allente as a consumer brand into the market. And Allente is owned 50-50 by Telenor and Viaplay Group. So we came from a legacy background with two companies that had a traditional product, the satellite TV distribution. Let's face it, satellite TV isn't necessarily a future-proof product with a lot of potential for growth, as has been discussed previously as well. With knowing that in the Nordics we have a high fiber rollout, and we know that, this isn't really the future. And let's be quite honest as well, coming from traditional businesses, we weren't really that digitalized either in 2020. And this also reflected in our customer group. We had a very traditional customer group. The average age was just below 70. So with all due respect, our customer base was literally dying. This also reflected in the way that we sold the product. Traditional channels like customer service, retail, telemarketing, even knocking on doors were our sales channels back then. And this, of course, impacted our ability to be digitalized as well. And then we've heard it here today as well. The rumor is that linear TV is dead and that people only want streaming services. But that's not the entire truth. Like we saw previously as well, it's the combination of linear TV and streaming services that is still the hugest part of the market. But our viewing habits are changing. We want more flexibility. We want to watch whatever we want, whenever we want, on whichever device we want. And that paved way for our new product, Allente Stream, which is a purely app-based TV product that is the combination of linear TV channels and streaming services. And with this, we of course also had the possibility to address the entire Nordic market. So it wasn't any longer just the areas where there were bad internet connection or there were some other reasons that you couldn't get a different type of TV subscription, but we could now address the entire market. And this, of course, also gives us a different playing field because it is a less traditional consumer segment and it is more digital than what we were used to from before. And I know that nobody wants to talk about COVID anymore, and we probably don't even want to remember it, but it did really digitally transform the market. Inside our company, we actually merged two different legacy brands into one on Teams. We were two companies coming together on Microsoft Teams. So that was a digital journey for us as well, but it also changed us as consumers. And that just doesn't just go for the more future-proof segments, but for everyone. For anyone who has ever worked with marketing, this is a very familiar customer journey, I assume, but I also hope that everyone feels like this is a bit outdated. This is the way that it was before. You created some awareness around your brand, people became interested, they made a decision and they purchased, and we were happy they had purchased. But it looks a bit different today. We need to have a bit more of a holistic view. And that's due to the digital behavior of the customers today. We can't just sell them stuff, but we need to also want to keep them. We want them to refer us to other people. And so it goes. They need to choose us over and over again because there's a variety of choices out there that they can pick from. And this, of course, goes for all the digital customer touchpoints that we have. It is the way that we do EDM marketing. It's the way that we do organic social media. It's the way we do paid social media, how we work with search. Every channel where we are present, we need to think about the totality of the customer experience. And the new customers, they don't necessarily only look to our own pages and the channels that we own ourselves, but they also look at comment sections, review sites, app store reviews. It's a total digital sphere out there that they are in all the time that we need to consider. So we do this with a future-proof segment in mind, of course. They have another digital capability than what we're used to. They are kind of everywhere, like I just mentioned, in all different channels. But we also need to remember that we have a diverse customer group, and we also want to cater to the people who are more traditional. So we can't just decide to digitalize everything, but we need to keep a balance between when do we need to hold their hand and when do we expect them to figure this out themselves. But we believe that everything we do for our future-proof customer segment will also benefit our traditional customer segments. But we need to keep the balance in mind. So if we dive into digital sales, looking at this holistic customer journey, like I mentioned before, we made a sale, we had acquisition, we were happy, we moved on. But it's not that simple anymore. They expect everything to be connected. We don't expect the customers to move from one box to the other. They're all over the place all the time, again, going through all the different channels. So you need to keep that in mind. So for digital sales specifically, we are now working with cross-functional agile teams across e-commerce, marketing, analytics, and content to make sure that we are aligned across all the different channels. And the different media that we buy as well has changed because of many different things. For instance, GDPR, we're not able to do as granular segmenting anymore than we did before. We could target people who have liked a specific sports page on Facebook, or there could be more like granular segmentation. But now it's actually moving towards going broader and then letting the algorithms do their job to make sure that we actually target the correct people. So it's again back to us not making assumptions about what the segments look like, but for them themselves to figure out. So after we do these segmented ads that are connected across all the different departments, we of course also adapt the landing pages. And we have clear digital CTAs on all the landing pages because you're coming from a digital ad. But the thing here is that we also want to make it easy for you to purchase through another channel if that's what you actually want. And this is the balance that we're talking about, because I early made the assumption myself that we could just remove the phone number. Everyone are able to purchase this online. It's fairly simple. We have a clear customer journey. Big mistake. We saw the totality of the sales going down because we were trying to force them to do something that we wanted rather than catering to their needs. If you want to call us, if you want to talk to the chatbot, if you want to buy online, we want to make it possible for you as a customer to do what you want to do. And I think that's the key to actually catering to different customer groups, because we cannot expect everyone to follow one path that we would like them to. But being clear on the CTS digitally has also increased the digital conversion, just to be clear on that as well. But thinking about the holistic customer view again, we get the customer in, we're happy, but we also want the customer to be happy. And we want them to stay with us for a long time, and we want them to refer us to other people. And we know that the number one factor in making them satisfied and stay longer with us is that they actually use the product. Both our own app, but also our third-party content apps. So we start focusing on activation of the customer already from when they buy. So making a clear connection into the product. And this goes for the other channels as well. When we talk in EDMs, what we do on social media, we always try to connect it to our actual product. And it's back to the balance again. Because yes, we inform them about the content we have, but we also make specific emails explaining to you how to actually activate the product, how to activate the third-party content service. So again, holding the hand of the customers that need it, as well as making it easy for the customers who are self-driven to just go into the product and use it. We also make a lot of connections between the product and the website. This is an example from a generic sports page where we don't really know that much about what your interests really are. It could be football, it could be hockey. So we make more things available to you. If you start interacting with specific types of content, then we will make sure that you get more tailored content. Then we will make just football pages, just hockey pages based on kind of the intent of the customer. But we start broad and then let the data tell us what to do in the next step. And then customer service. We know that the easy explanation of digital customer service is to move the traffic from telephone to the website. And maybe that's the way, again, that we would like it to be, due to many reasons. But the question is that really the best solution? Back to the things that we learned when we tried to just remove the phone number. Did it really create a good customer experience? Were they happy and satisfied and stayed with us for a longer time? Maybe not. Maybe it just made them more angry and that they couldn't connect with us in the way that they wanted to. So again, what we do is that we make self-service possibilities for the customer that wants to do that. When they log into their My Page, they can see everything. They can look at all their invoices. They can manage their entire subscription. They can change packages, buy stuff. They can cancel. They can activate. Everything is available. But if they don't want to do it, they can always call or they can chat. So we have that possibility there as well. And if they do choose to contact us and call us, we always also inform them that the next time you want to do this, you can do it online. And then we explain and hold their hand through how they can actually do this the next time. So again, balancing between the people who can do this themselves and the people who can't as of right now, but making them also aware that they can do it in the future. I mentioned it briefly. We have a chatbot. So we try to balance the traffic between the customer's self-service, that they can, if they want to, read the articles and figure out how to do it themselves. They can chat. This is a chat bot, first and foremost, which I know some people find annoying. So if you write, I want to talk to a human, you can talk to a human. And you can, of course, also call us. But again, it's about having all the possibilities available and making sure that the customers can do what they would like to do. We have actually also added a specific customer service phone number on the web so that we can track the traffic between the different channels as well. Because what sometimes can be difficult to know is whether they are actually able to solve their issues online or not. So then we can track if they actually end up calling us in the end anyways. A bit of a humble brag slide, I guess. Just looking at the digital sales of last year compared to this year. We see that the things that we are doing by being more cross-functional, that we have an increase in our digital conversions. We see a peak in November last year. There are several reasons for it being that high. Black Week, Black Month, of course, being one of them, but also some specific Swedish market issues with some of our competitors that resulted in this. But I also want to highlight the actual decrease during spring this year. And the reason why I want to do it is because we are testing all the time. And we are testing to learn. And here we tested something that didn't work. But I think it's still interesting to see that yes, we tested, it didn't work, but what we learned actually made us able to climb back up and even go above where we were before. So it's always about looking into the data, not making the assumptions, but actually seeing what is working and then doing stuff according to that. So the main takeaways is you can build for a future-proof segment, but don't neglect the people that you already have in your base if you have a traditional segment. And I also want to highlight that this isn't about age, because I think very often we do assumptions based on demographics, that we think that if you're 60, you want to call, and if you're 20, you want to self-service. That might not be the case. You can be 60 and extremely tech-savvy and want to do everything yourself, and you can be 20 and don't understand the internet. Like these are people, and they will always differ. So even if you have different target groups, or you think you have just one homogeneous group, they can still be different since it's just people. So the learnings that we have made, never make assumptions. always trust the data, and test to fail and learn. It's fine to fail. I think that's one of the most important things. Don't be so afraid to make everything perfect, but do incremental changes and then improve them as you go along based on what you actually see in the data. Yes. Thank you.